Bill Davis, Ancestry Lands motivates. I'm going to talk to you right now. You got it all wrong about this game of life. And I do say game of life for a good reason. If you think, and that's the problem with a lot of people here, people think that life is supposed to be fair. Like life is supposed to be governed by a set of rules that everyone has to follow. Well, let me bring something to you. Not everyone is following the rules. Do you follow every speed or traffic sign? Do you stop at every stop sign to a full stop? Do you do the speed limit every time you see what the speed is? Are you doing 25 every time it is? Or are you doing 55 every time it is? No, you don't even follow the rules. Well, that's just that level of game that's being played when you're in the game. Well, there are other people in this world that are playing a game at a much higher level, and they're the ones making the rules for you to figure out and understand that the rules are going to be broken. The rules are going to be set for you to stay and play within those confines in the game. It's the same way. NBA players make a lot of money. They do make millions and millions of dollars. But the billionaires and the owners of the team, the commissioner, they stand to make more money because again, they have the players playing by their rules. If the game changes, you need more things to make money. That's what they do. And the players have to abide by it. This happens all around us in every facet of life. And the thing about it is the people who make it are the people who understand that the game is set up against you because you want it to be fair. You want everyone to have the same thing, to win at the same pace, to have the same things at the same place. But again, that's not going to happen. And what ends up happening with most of you is that you get defeated because you see that the system is not fair. It's always not been fair. Ask an Irish person during the potato famine. Ask an Italian person during the time of Mussolini. Ask a German person immigrating over to America during the days of the Hitler man, right? Ask any person, a African person being taken off the ship to go over to America. Ask them. Ask people who were, you've seen gangs in New York, people who are native versus people who have immigrated over and are still being treated like immigrants today. That's always happened. An unfair advantage by people who have had it versus people who haven't. That's existed since the dawn of time. Even in the story of Cain and Abel, Abel seemingly had an unfair advantage by having favor from the Lord, and still Cain said, you know what, I've got to equal the playing field and take you up out of here. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm saying that there are stories that are being told all throughout our lifetime that show us that someone always had an unfair advantage. There were always rules set upon everyone else, and some people did not have to abide by those rules. You see stories in the Bible where it tells you, hey, you got to be honorable, this, and that. And you see stories in the Bibles where people went right around that and still have been blessed. My mother and I were talking about this one time, just having a very intellectual conversation about, hey, even David, according to the book, what desired a woman and sent her husband out in the front line to be taken out so she would not be without a husband. Again, that's lust, right? To the people out there in this world, you have to understand that this system is designed to keep you down if you are a person that's going to be affected by having an unfair advantage. It is not because of immigration. It is because the system that's been put in place that's keeping you down. That's the reason why. They make inflation a certain way. They drive up rates. They spend more money. They print more money. They know what they're doing to keep you in a box. You have prosperity. People made a lot of money. Okay, great. That's for this generation. Again, what about the next generation? No, we're rigging the game so we can have it and we can pass it on so people have and people have not. So what you got to do is understand that this is the game being played and play your own game. When I play your own game, the game to win, not the game to lose. A lot of people think they're going to play the game their own way, but they don't make any rules because you have no power. You have to get power in order to make your own rules or change the rules. You can't do that. Once you start owning, once you start being able to build, once you all have your own communities where you can have your own power base, once you stop relying on the system and you put mechanisms in place for you to be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, then you will have the ability to change the rules or the power to not be affected by the rules so much. But again, you got to get to that point, and it's not an ideology, it's a practicality. There's a difference between the two. An ideology is I think it, so I am. That is, I'm a boss babe, boss dude, but I don't have 2 cents in my bank account. I got it like this because I have all these fancy clothes, but the reason why I have these fancy clothes is because I have a maxed out credit card. Not because I can pay for it in cash and I have savings, I have investments, and this is luxury spending that I do not have to be encumbered by and I don't owe. I mean, literally, they got you people out here being okay with telling you you'll own nothing and be happy about it. And then you got everyone in the world telling you how to put something in an LLC, in a trust, and this, and that. And yet you don't even have the money to even pay for the lawyer to put it into a damn trust. I got people over here talking to me about starting up an LLC and they got one damn business idea, ain't got $1, one piece of capital that came through, and they worried about starting an LLC. Because you heard somebody online tell you about you need to put your house in LLC, but the banks, you still paying a mortgage on it. You don't even own it yet. Here's another thing. They're telling you to put everything, don't own anything, but yet 99% of people who own homes have it in their own damn name. And people trying to worry about being sued. I want to have a business, so I want to be sued. You own a home, they can still take that if you have an LLC. Don't even know the rules to the game, but again, putting applications in according to someone else's rule who's not playing the same game that you are. Yeah, we're all playing basketball, but there's a damn bit of difference from pickup ball, high school ball, college ball to pro ball. Hell, even league ball or what is that? 3G league is different than a certain level of play from playing high school ball. Yeah, it's all basketball, but it's played at different levels. So you can't take Kobe's game and try to put that into a high schooler and say this is what you do. Everybody can't be damn Steph Curry, no matter how much they practice dribbling. You may be able to obtain some level akin to Steph Curry, but you ain't going to be able to make 3-point shoot all the time. And hell, most coaches won't even let you shoot like that. Miss 2 and see if they're going to be keeping you in the game. Ain't going to happen. You better bring that ball up and do the offensive formation and make that man cut to go down and make that score. That's not going to happen. And most people won't listen to this because they'll spend their time on TikTok scrolling through fast feeds to get short information, thinking that's going to equate to a plan in life. How? You want to move or make things happen in your life, you're going to have to spend your spare time studying. You're going to have to be listening to people like this information that can break you away from the algorithm that's designed to suck you in. Have you ever noticed this? Have you ever been on TikTok, Instagram, just looking through shorts feed and find a whole damn hours went by? 2 hours that went by. Hell, you might even find yourself bargaining, trying to stay up longer to watch one more of something else, or going through a whole person's feed trying to figure out and watching. You know damn well you got work in the morning. You know damn well you got to get up early in the morning, but you here trying to watch something that you know very well you could watch when you wake up or sit down on the toilet. How about that? And again, you know why? It's designed to get you sucked in, and you don't spend that same time that you spend watching everyone else learning on how to better yourself. Because again, that's going to take time. It's going to take you a little bit more effort to put those pieces together, and people don't want to do it. I got people I know right now in my family. When they get off the work, the first thing they want to do is take a break. They want to relax and unwind. Unwind from work. That's great. That's what you're all for. But what are you doing to prepare your personal life? Because outside of your job, like we see many of the people furloughed, the government's shut down, and they don't have a job. They're going to cut more jobs. Again, what do you do from the time you don't have a job to the time you got to get the next job? We're not talking about your ability to be rehired or hireability. We're talking about the fact that you have to sometimes go from one place to another, and that could take a little bit of time, a month, 2 months. Do you have the savings to sustain yourself? And again, even when that happens, the only people that bounce back and move forward are the people who had a plan in place from the get-go, from people who actually were working on themselves in their part-time. And it's not about you being able to make money all the time. It's about your mindset and listening to things like this video that can help you sustain yourself and be mentally prepared for when those times come. And when those times come, you have already been in a mindset to not panic, to think things through, to either formulate your plan or now get your plan into motion and action because you've prepared for this. You know how many times where I've been injured? I've said this in many videos before, and maybe not to people who know this on this channel because it's a new channel, but that I've had Achilles injuries. I've had 3-4 months where I've been injured and I could not return back to work and had to go look for another job. And those 3-4 months, I still had to pay for my own health insurance for not just myself, my whole family. But I had a business that sustained it. I had income coming in that wasn't related to my 9 to 5 job. And I'm thankful for that. And the thing is that I'm just a nurse. I'm a guy who was doing nursing for 20 something years until I decided, hey man, let me try this land thing out. Hey, let me try being an author out. Hey, let me try writing this book. Hey, let me do this YouTube channel. Let me start doing this editing, this, and that. And I got people up all the time. And you know, one thing that I see consistent, I had this one aide I was talking to, nurse's aide I was talking to, and she's trying to get things off. And the same thing happens every time. They started doing something and then they stopped doing it. It is not the fact that I have a skill that is better than theirs, or I know some profound knowledge that, you know, is found in the great ocean after you go through a quest or a journey. No, what it is that I did it every day. I did it wrong. Some days I did it right. I did a little bit of research. I studied, I paid for programs, and I learned to get better over time. And what ends up happening is you see this body of work. Shout out to my man, Don Coombs. What you see now is a body of work. When people go on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you see thousands and thousands of video of someone who is just consistent every day. That's it. I'm like my man on Kung Fu Panda. He was the father, you know, not the panda father, but it's the duck father, geese, whatever the hell he was. He said, I'm going to tell you what's the secret of the sauce. And the Kung Fu Panda, he said, there is no secret to the sauce. If people think there's a secret, that's what makes it special. But realistically, there is no secret. It's just sauce. And I'm telling you, what's made me get this far, there is no secret other than consistency. It is the same thing that's required for you to better your life, for you to get better at doing anything in life, is to be consistent. That's it. Yeah, and consistency, and you cannot be confused with this. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna land my plane. You cannot confuse consistency with productivity or success or achievement. What consistency will do is allow you to assess whether you're doing something right, whether you're doing something wrong, whether you're being productive, whether you need to alter, where you need to maintain. It will allow you to gauge things. But a lot of times people misunderstand consistency, thinking that because I'm consistent, I'm productive. Because I'm consistent, I'm successful. No, there's many times this content had to pivot. The problem is people lack consistency, so they're quick to failure. People lack consistency, so they're quick to actually make uninformed decisions because they have no data. You look at studies in life, you look at anything, trial and error, medication, research, that's done by having 1,000 times of something happening, being consistent until they can say, hey, that's a good thing or bad thing. You need research and data. Well, you got to do that in the small, minuscule thing that we call life. That's what you got to do. You got to formulate your own data to figure out what works. There is no one size fits all. There is no, you can do this and be successful too. Results may vary, but the one thing that will be guaranteed in every situation, in every opportunity that you have, if you don't start, you won't go. If you're not consistent, you won't know. And the only thing you'll be doing is coming back up to another door, another opportunity at this requiring the same thing from you. It will require the same thing from you. Consistency, commitment, and dedication. And you know what you'll do? You'll piss it away because you did not get the same results every time. You're quick. The only consistency you're doing is consistent in quitting early. Every time it gets hard, you don't have the commitment to dedicate and make it through. You don't. So again, you get guaranteed consistent failing results. You get the same thing every single time. Same result every single time. Same outcome every single time. But you expect things to change. There will be no change until I started saying nothing changes if nothing changes. If nothing changes with you, you should expect nothing to change. I guarantee you, the moment you start to seek knowledge, something has already changed. The moment you start learning knowledge, pick up a book and read 10 pages, you will know more than it was before you read those 10 pages. Something has changed because you changed. But a lot of times people won't pick up books. They think they got to read 1,000 pages. No, you could start by reading 1 page. You can start by reading 2 pages the next day. You can start by reading 3 pages and so on and so forth each day until you start to build up. You say, man, damn, I can't believe I read that whole book. Something has changed. Now reading is easier. But a lot of us go through life just handicapping ourselves, expecting us to get the results of people who live without those limiters, without those handicaps. because they're constantly changing and evolving. And we say that they got something different than we do, or they have an unfair advantage than we do. No, some people have an unfair advantage that was given to them. Some people had an unfair advantage because they were put in a certain area and environment where they have the opportunity to excel much further than their peers. And other people have the same opportunity as everyone else. And the advantage is that they have a fair advantage, but they will not use it because, again, they're stuck in wanting everything to be fair. No, you start from where you at and you get better from where you were. That's the fair advantage. You have the same opportunity as anyone else to get better or lazier. That's the only thing that's fair. And every decision you make is a decision you made toward to do or not to do. There is no ain't. There is no don't. You either do or there's not a don't, but there is you either do or you don't do. But there is no it's unfair. You got every opportunity to better yourself. But again, will you do it? Will you be committed to yourself to doing it? If you don't, shut the fuck up and watch something else. Go back to your TikTok scrolling. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands motivates, and I'm out. Get your shit together.